Welcome to another Midnight with Mumchies, a series of late-night uploads where I give my opinion on things I find across the internet. Today we'll be discussing Taylor Swift's lack of sufficient seating for individuals with accessibility needs during her Eras tour. The article we'll be looking at is from Cosmopolitan, titled, "Swifties with Disabilities Were Competing for 0.005% of Eras tour seats. Somehow Ticketmaster made it worse." Without further ado, let's get into it. The Taylor Swift Eras tour ticket rollout failed fans across the board, hard stop. From the bug and bot-riddled pre-sales to the abruptly cancelled general sale, the entire ordeal was a nightmare for anyone who wanted to scream-shout the lyrics to Anti-Hero alongside Taylor herself. But the disability community was left particularly disappointed in a fumble that got far less attention than the wider snafu. The main difference between the nightmare most Swifties faced and the one that Swifties with accessibility needs faced was that the latter group 100% saw it coming. So it seems like this may be a case of Ticketmaster fumbling the ball with handling the sale of tickets, but it's also an extreme lack of oversight on the part of Taylor and her team. I think that, even if you outsource other businesses to handle the sale of your products or tickets, you should be performing quality control every step of the way. At the end of the day, yes, it reflects badly on the company you hired if something goes wrong, but it also reflects poorly on you as well. Tickets for Taylor Swift's Eras tour are going to be hard to come by for everyone, but for the disability community, it's going to be nearly impossible, Amy Webb, an author and disability rights advocate, predicted on Instagram days before the first pre-sale was scheduled to start. This little Miggy wrote on Instagram, "Like many people, I'm hoping to snag tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras tour. However, unlike many people, I am trying to ensure that I can get accessible seating so that I can bring my daughters, one of whom is a wheelchair user, to the concert." Once again, when it comes to accessibility, there is no industry standard. The venues will often tell you that you need to speak with the event coordinator, and the event coordinator will tell you that you need to speak with the venue. I spoke at length with the head of the box office at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, and unless we can get Ticketmaster and or Taylor Swift herself to look into this issue, it's very likely that accessible seating will be snatched up by people who are not part of the disability community. This is an issue that I've never really thought about. There's really no way to ensure that disability seating goes to people with actual disabilities until they actually arrive at the venue. So it must be extremely difficult for those with accessibility issues to attend concerts, because while people without disabilities can, unethically, use seating meant for those with disabilities, disabled individuals can't just buy seats meant for able-bodied people. There should be a system in place that prevents able-bodied individuals from buying tickets that are solely for those in the disability community. During the pre-sale, Webb tried and failed to get ADA-accessible tickets for her daughter, who lives with limb differences and uses a wheelchair. On Twitter, she ended up connecting with Williams, who discovered that the tickets he had secured for his wife and 15-year-old daughter were for ADA-compliant seating. Williams, for his part, tried to rectify the situation right away. "I called the venue, Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, and asked, 'Hey, is there any way to trade these?' And they said, 'No, you can't do anything,'" Williams recalls. "They just kind of said, 'Just enjoy the tickets,' and I was like, well, that's not what I want to do." The fact that the venue got a call saying, "Hey, I bought tickets for disabled individuals, but I'm not disabled." And they were just like, "Whatever, enjoy them. Forget about the disabled individuals that could have used those seats, go nuts." Is so disgusting and just poor business practice. I applaud the person who bought the tickets for wanting to be better than that and do the right thing by trying to trade them for seats meant for able-bodied individuals. According to the law, 80,000-seat venues, like the biggest stadiums hosting Taylor, should have a minimum of 411 wheelchair spaces for ADA compliance, which works out to roughly 0.005% of total seats. That math ultimately means people in the disability community must compete for an excruciatingly limited number of seats. It is crazy to me that with the millions of disabled individuals in the world, each venue only requires 411 wheelchair-accessible spaces per 80,000 seats. By including more accessible seating, venues could open themselves up to an enormous demographic of people, furthering their business and making concerts a more inclusive space for the disabled community. This situation really puts the serious lack of accommodation in the entertainment business into perspective. Things that should be open to everyone, such as concerts, are not designed to include a significant number of disabled individuals. The amount of seats in the venue made for individuals that are disabled is absolutely laughable. We live in an age of information. There is no reason that businesses made to serve the public should be so clueless about the struggles of the disabled community. I will link the article in the description for those of you that are interested, but I'm going to end the video here. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you think this is the fault of Taylor and her team, or does the responsibility of inclusivity fall solely on the venue? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Midnight with Mumcheese, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.